Okay, so Lee's response to Goneril's seemingly reasonable, if stern, um, request slash order um, is remarkable, right? I mean, it is, um, I would say it is not only um, disproportionate in its range, it is remarkable in the specific manner of attack, right? This is again a father who has a history of being abusive to his at least two of his three daughters. Um, it is certainly a father who has behaved counter to the social expectations and the norms when it comes to wedding his daughters and providing them with a suitable dowry. Um, and we discussed this when we thought about, or when we talked about what exactly is going on in Act One, in the political sense, right? When he is finally giving away his daughters, when two of them have already been married and have been living under his roof, seemingly, um, certainly without dowry. And now, when the third daughter's wedding is to be determined, is when he finally seems to be willing to give his older daughters what is their due in terms of dowry. So this is a father who has constantly um, set up barricades for his daughters in the social realm, two of them, and I'm going to argue all three of them. So when finally one of them claims a certain level of authority in seeking dignity, right? In seeking dignity in the behavior of not only the knights but also her father, he freaks out. And the freaking out takes on a peculiarly physical turn, takes on a very peculiar anatomical, I would say gynecological and obstetric turn. So let's look at that. I'm sorry I paused so much. I'm trying to, if I had written these lectures down, I would go a lot more quickly, but I would read more like a conference paper, and that might, I don't know if that would be more or less effective for you, but it would take up a whole lot more time from me. And much as I love you all dearly, I I have grading to do and other projects to complete, not to mention administrative chores or responsibilities. So I have not written these down, and while I have prepped for what I want to talk about, I haven't literally written down what I'm going to say, and that is why I pause to just make sure that the sentences are making sense semantically and so on. So this is Act 1, Scene 4, immediately after immediately after the lines, or just almost immediately after the lines that we addressed in the previous lecture, where Goneril says, get rid of some of your people and just retain the ones that are decent people, right? Lear is like, I need to get out of here, right? He's like, darkness and devils, saddle my horses, call my train together, degenerate bastard. We have seen a bastard, and we've seen the indignities showered on him by his father. So another reference to bastard is interesting. Degenerate bastard, I'll not trouble thee, yet have I left a daughter. Goneril says, you strike my people, and your disordered rabble make servants of their betters. Enter Albany. Woe that too late repents. To Albany. Is it your will? Speak, sir. Prepare my horses. Ingratitude, thou marble-hearted fiend, more hideous when thou showest thee in a child than the sea monster. The ingratitude that he is remarking on out here is something that should give us pause. What did he expect of Goneril? What did he expect in response to what seems to be going on? That there are men running amok in the palace. I'm sorry, there seems to be lipstick all over my face now. This is what happens if there is a sort of mirror-like substance in front of me. I would be distracted. Sorry. So Albany shows up and he's taken by surprise, but he says, "Pray, sir, be patient." Lear is, of course, nothing but patient. I mean, nothing if not impatient. And he says to Goneril, "Detested kite, thou liest. My train are men of choice and rarest parts, that all particulars of duty know, and in the most exact regard support the worships of their name. O most small fault, how ugly didst thou in Cordelia show, which like an engine wrenched my frame of nature from the fixed place, drew from my heart all love, and added to the gall. O Lear, 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 beat at this gate that let thy folly in, and thy dear judgment out. Go, go, my people." "My lord, I'm guiltless, as I'm ignorant," says Albany, "of what hath moved you." It may be so, my lord, and I'm going to pause here. In some ways, we're tempted, are we not, to think, oh, but what if Lear is speaking the truth right now? What if his people are decent and Goneril is just making up the shit? Only the conversation Goneril and Regan have at the end of Act 1 is a private one, where they are sharing their innermost thoughts with one another, and we hear about the fact that Lear has always been rash, has always been reckless, right? And we have this reverberation from the fool, who refers to Lear and his two daughters as kins, and they are put together, right? They're violent and they whip for no reason, and they seem to not be consistent. Whether or not there is exaggeration in the fool's speech, there is certainly truth. And I would say that Lear's insistence that his daughter is lying is where his perceptions come into play. His daughter's disobedience, his daughter's refusal now to play the game of servitude and deference, he cannot tolerate, right? This change in his daughter's behavior is a sort of cognitive dissonance. It's a producer of cognitive dissonance in him, and he cannot now tell the difference between truth and lie. He is all muddled up because his daughter's behaving so weirdly, so differently. And in that jumble, he starts animalizing his daughter, Goneril. He starts calling her names. Like, he strips her of his kinship, right? He strips her of the legitimacy that she has by calling her bastard. And then he starts saying, oh my God, oh God, I have messed up. I have effed up. My youngest daughter was she looked so horrible to me, when of course you here are the horrible one, right? Your true vile nature is the thing I should have punished. And now I regret and repent. Well, do I repent? I don't know, but I am sorry to not have seen this. Through none of this has Goneril been allowed to say anything. She makes very calculated remarks about what has transpired. You strike my people, right? And your disordered rabble makes servants of their betters. That these are not random people that you should be attacking. These are not nameless servants. These are my courtiers, right? That is the assumption that is made in that line. But she is not losing her temper right now. She is giving cause for her impatience with the courtiers. My stomach is grumbling. Not the courtiers, with the knights in Lear's retinue. Albany is surprised. He is ignorant of what's going on. He wants to understand, and he also wants to tell his father-in-law to be patient, which he does. And he wants to say, I don't know what's going on, which he does. I'm guiltless. It may be so, my lord. Hear, nature. Hear, dear goddess, hear. Suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility. Dry up in her the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honour her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be thwarted, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be athwart disnatured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks, turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away, away! Exeunt Lear, Kind, and attendants. Albany is shocked. He says, now, gods that we adore, whereof comes this? Goneril says, never afflict yourself to know more of it, but let his disposition have that scope as dotage gives it. Re-enter Lear. What? 50 of my followers at a clap? Within a fortnight? What's the matter, sir? I'll tell thee. To Goneril, he continues, life and death, I'm ashamed that thou hast power to shake my manhood thus. That these hot tears which break from me perforce should make thee worth them, blasts and fogs upon thee. The untented woundings of a father's curse pierce every sense about thee. Old fond eyes, beweep this cause again. I'll pluck ye out, and cast you up with the waters that you lose to temper clay. Ha, let it be so. I have another daughter who I am sure is kind and comfortable, and so on and so on. Lear's attack on Goneril's womb, on reproductive futurity, is, I think, at the heart of what the play's crisis is about. The play is an attack on the future, and Lear is the master of that attack. From the time he exiles his daughter, his favorite daughter, who he leaves without dowry. He casts aspersions but does not offer clarification, no evidence, if you will, that Cordelia herself hurries to defend, right? She says, be sure to tell these two men that I have done nothing untoward beyond speak the truth. I have to continue with the next lecture now, but I'll make sure that's the last.